It will be a strike of luck if we get another function. Mr. Gutierrez said we're running the show at a loss. Opera is what the people want to see. They long for a taste of Europe, he said. I had to withhold a snarky remark if I didn't want a second staging of the play to be even more unlikely. There is enough opera in my play, but Ima Sumac doesn't seem to steer the hearts of the landowners quite like Juliet. And she doesn't need to. I am not writing for them, neither do I write for the empty seats. Juana would not have said only the nicest things about my take on her book, but every point she would put forward would have said so much more about how she cares. This book, that I stroke in my hands right now, The Secret of the Inca, we did inspire each other to look into our roots, even if what we found was the emptiness of living in the spaces in between, while the crown of gold and the crown of thorns tried to erase our ways of making sense of our history. But we were not alone, not when we were writing, and certainly not in our cultural struggle. And something beautiful came out of that. But beauty alone wouldn't change the world. Now, the play unfolds. The shoes of actresses and actors puncture the wood of the stage like the typewriter, a very curious device that saves me from decoding my own handwriting. And they leave a trail of history. History was taught to me in terms of war. I found it to be a lie by omission. Juana's story was perfect to that and correct this erasure. Yes, war was still the law that would declare freedom, but here, generals and warriors were not the only figures of heroism. Silence, keeping a secret, could give hope to the oppressed. Ima Sumac knew the location of the Inca's hidden citadel, the labyrinthine tunnels where plans of revolution are being brewed by candlelight. Of course, to remain silent is only problematic when you are not invisible. In the most pure fashion of Greek tragedy, and this is where I betray my influences, her virtue and downfall are one in the same, being visible but for the wrong reasons, for she was coveted for her flesh just as much as her secrets. As the actress recites her lines and conceals some, I wonder what do the landowners and perpetrators see here? A figure of passivity, a denunciation to injustice. Why does self-reflection appear to be the mark of the dispossessed? When the world isn't a mirror to your desire and identity, you are forced to take the scraps of history and build a mirror out of it. Somewhere within the audience, a servant of mixed heritage who has been taken as a mere escort by some wealthy man without much forethought might see the strength I intended to show in the mirror of Ima Sumac's eyes. The curtains, red eyelids of cloth, draw closer upon each other's half. A pair of hands clap, then some more. Again, I wasn't writing for them. Juana was here in every note and turn of the story. My dear friend, I wonder if you two were keeping a secret that would have made your exile a chapter between the lines of history. Another night when rest won't come easy. How do I even expect to sleep when there is so much for me to do? If we take this instance alone, I could say it's not fair to judge the rightness of my actions by the results. Now I am out of the church. Not that it means anything to me on a personal level, but when has it made any difference to them? There is people out there. Their lanterns, they graze my blinds too often considering this time of night. They are clearly after me. When I became director of Perú Ilustrado this very year, I committed myself to be a journalist that would provide only the truth to help rebuild our republic after the Pacific War. And this conviction is what will keep me going. Birds Without a Nest was written in that spirit, but the spirit of journalism wasn't to the liking of the powerful. When has it ever? Power loves to stay in the shadows. Didn't they like when my mirror was pointed at them? They didn't like their image and decided to break the mirror instead. So much for self-reflection. And what were these cowards afraid of? A book about the whips of landowners and perversion of priests. It's no secret to anybody. We all know about it. But why does the written word suddenly threaten? Is it the perceived longevity and permanence? Or is it the authority that print may give to a testimony that otherwise would fall on deaf ears? Is it because I expect my people to die without leaving a memory and without the means to act upon it? But until then, they are right to fear my words, even if they carry nothing that is unknown to the very people that give form to my stories. But right now, I am not in a story. I am merely seeing history reveal itself. Reveal itself, as if it was already written. And by whom? There is a knock on my front door, growing louder with each repetition. And then, it seems inevitable. I realized that Juana had no secrets that could change the tides of history. She was very much like me, and we were visible enough for our words to be of concern. We didn't have to hide any secrets, we just had to keep on writing. And now they are taking the stairs, heavy steps. But I will keep on writing. This is how I stand for the cause. I'll keep on writing, writing, writing. And there is not a single secret between my pages.